All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just My Thoughts. So, this one is a special episode. Why? Because this one hits close to home. I'm not going to say who specifically it relates to. However, I will say that this person is close to me and they asked me to talk about this. So, here goes. I recently found out that my daughter is getting married. That's something to celebrate. I nor my wife have ever met the guy that she's engaged to. We've seen pictures and heard vague stories about him on Facebook and through phone calls, but we've never been properly introduced. She lives on the other side of the country, so it's understandable that we wouldn't see her as regularly as we would if she were closer. However, in the past 2 years, she's been to see his parents twice, and they've never even bothered to come see us once. I even flew out to her, and still, no meeting. Now, out of the blue, we find out that she's getting married. I'm expected to go where his family lives and give my daughter away to a guy that I've never even met. I feel hurt. Was she embarrassed to bring him into our house? Was she embarrassed of us? How should I handle this? So it's very short and sweet, but it's intense. Okay, so take a seat on the justice couch. Let's dive in. I would say if the wedding is soon, like within the next month, then you should probably wait to talk to her about this until after the wedding. There's already enough pressure thinking about, the dress and the scenery and everything being in order leading up to the wedding. You don't want her to have to deal with the heaviness and the weight of this conversation. So that's the first thing. So if the wedding is soon, just go to the wedding and be a normal, loving father, give her away, smile, and address everything after the wedding. If the wedding is months away, then I would have this conversation. And you still want to have this conversation, but it just depends on when you have the conversation. So you need to figure out what was the issue? What prevented her from introducing the guy to you properly? Especially since you said that you flew out to where she's at, and that whole time he was ghost. It sounds like it was a conscious decision to not introduce you to the boyfriend at the time slash fiance. So to now expect you to go to the wedding and be happy about this, that's asking a lot. It's your daughter, and you love her. So you're hoping that she has made a good decision in the guy that she has chosen. But you still would like to have had the courtesy of meeting the guy beforehand. Go to the wedding, smile, give her away, and I would even talk to the guy. You can talk to him, I wouldn't say at the wedding because you still want that to be a happy, happy moment. I would talk to him maybe the day after. I'm not even going to give a timeline, but talk to the guy. And that conversation is to get to know him because this is a part of me that I've given away. So I need to know that she's in good hands. Does he know anything about you and your wife? Has he heard anything about you? What has been the conversation that your daughter has had with him about the family? What kind of family do you come from? How many siblings do you have? What are your parents like? So on and so forth. So get that conversation firsthand from him, what his conversation with your daughter has been about the family. Also, let him know who you are, based on, just this is who I am. This is my relationship with my daughter. And I would hope that you would treat her XYZ, so on and so forth. So have that man-to-man conversation with him so that he understands who you are firsthand instead of through your daughter, if she said anything about you in the first place. And then the conversation with your daughter is to get an honest, genuine understanding as to why she has kept him away from the family. Was it intentional because of an embarrassment to the family? Was it intentional because of an embarrassment to the house where you live or where you come from, so on and so forth? Get that information face to face. You don't want to do this over the phone or anything like that. I want to look into your eyes and look at your body language and hear the intonation, the inflection in your voice. I want to read everything when I'm having this discussion because that would hurt me too. If my daughter out of the blue just said, "Hey, I'm getting married, come give me away," to this guy that you've never met, it would hurt. And I would want to know why she never bothered to introduce us. So You definitely want to go to the wedding. You definitely don't want to address these grievances at the wedding or before the wedding. Allow everything to kind of play out, but have that conversation and give her the opportunity to speak her piece and let you know what she was thinking, what her thought process was. There's really no other advice to give here. I'm not going to say, don't go to the wedding. Show her who's boss. You didn't want to introduce me to your fiance. I'm not coming to the wedding. That's that would be terrible advice. That would be the emotional aspect of it. I try for the most part to keep the emotions out of it and be more logical and reasonable. So the reasonable thing and logical thing to do would be to go to the wedding, put on a happy face and have the wedding, but have the conversation afterwards and give her the opportunity to express what her thought process was in keeping him away from you and your wife. That's just my thought. Let me know what you guys think. How would you deal with this situation if it were your child, if it was your sister or brother? What should the parents do? How should they handle this situation? Should they feel bad about it? Or is it any of their business? Is it a requirement for your children to tell you who they're getting married to and introduce you to who they're getting married to before they get married? Or is that just an old tradition? Am I just old school? I'm 39 years old, so I don't know how the younger generation thinks. Am I tripping? Is the father tripping? I don't even think they use that term anymore, but whatever. What are your thoughts regarding this whole situation? Put them in the comments section. Let me know, and stay tuned for another episode of Just My Thought. Remember, whatever you do, do it justice.